Man, what's going on, everyone? Super random video. Working on the pre-approval, and as I'm working on this pre-approval, I thought I'd yap because I'm kind of bored. So this client is looking to move from West Virginia to Orland Park, but the topic of the video is something that's been on my mind a lot lately. 25 years old, and I want to get rich quick. And the reason why I'm making this video is I want to look back at it and be like, did we do it? Now, when we talk about getting rich quick, people think getting rich easy. That is very, very different. I want to put in the effort, I want to learn and grow, but I think that with my abilities and my skills, and I can do it quickly. Matter of fact, I wouldn't say I think. I know I can do it quickly. I just need to apply myself and get lucky. And when I say get lucky, a lot of people say, that luck is not a factor in success. Um, and I'm not saying, oh, well, I need to get lucky in the sense where it's like one day I'm going to be scrolling on Instagram and I find a solution to all my problems. But I think that there is a good amount of luck in success. A lot of luck, actually. But yeah, so there is something that I've been working on, which I won't share too much about because I can't, unfortunately. It's been something that I've been forewarned about. And it's something exciting, something cool. But the point of the video is, I think most people are going to stop themselves from ever believing that way. By the way, I'm here at the office. I work at Chase, and most people would think that, hey, you're making six figures, you work a good job, just hustle hard, put your head down, and you know, be happy with 6 figures a year and live a regular life. And you know what? I've realized that I don't really want to do that. I don't really want popularity, and I don't even want to talk about what I'm trying to do, you know. And the reason is why do people need to know? Like, if I make a lot of money, um, why does it matter if people know likes on Instagram and clout and things that don't matter? I don't even want a nice car. I just want to pay off my car and just, you know, honestly, what I really want is I want a mansion in Hawaii. Just wake up, work out, watch some YouTube, work on the business, talk to my friends, fly out family. I think that would be gnarly. Um, but I gotta focus on this pre-approval, so I'm gonna work on this while I talk. So the reason why I'm making this video is most people don't allow themselves to think that way. They don't think that it's possible. And one thing that I've realized with mentorship and with real estate is that some people have accelerated paths, and the reason why they have accelerated paths is oftentimes really good about following mentorship and instructions, right? So, for example, there's this guy. Um, I'll name him. Probably won't watch this video. Probably nobody that knows him will watch this video. But there's this guy named Javi. Javi is this older real estate agent. If I had to guess, in his 40s. And when he got into the real estate space, his first year he was like rookie of the year for the Chicago Association of Realtors. Just absolutely crushed it. Did like 30 units or something. Already making multiple six figures first year in the business, but he was very humble. He was super humble. He was very great at following instructions. And what I like about his story is that he was older, right? A lot of the rookies of the years, they're younger guys, whereas this guy was, imagine, I don't know how much money he did or didn't make, but imagine you go 20, 30, 40 years of your life making a good living or a bad living, I don't know. And then one year you just 180 and now you're killing it. It's quite interesting in my opinion. Um, but what was I gonna say? But yeah, so when I make this video and saying that I want to get rich quick, um, I don't want to buy some moonshot crypto um, and get rich. Again, I think that a lot of people are going to assume when I say that I want to get rich quick and lucky, they are not going to understand the efforts that I'm going to take on my behalf. And I've been learning from a really cool guy. And when I heard him talk, someone asked him a question in a group setting, and they were like, "Hey, how do you deal with loneliness and blah blah blah?" And he was like, "You know what? That's not an issue for me. Like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I could go 6 months without talking to anyone." And so I see myself within him, and before the age of 30, he had multiple six-figure net worth. So, you know, the goal is to learn from people like that, implement, and make sure that things work out. But yeah, what else do I want to say? Most people would think it's impossible. Most people wouldn't dare to try. Most people wouldn't dare to say it publicly. But me, I'm bold. I think that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. Of course, you have to acknowledge your strengths and your weaknesses. One thing that I'm not going to sit here and tell you is that I'm going to start the next software company. I'm not going to start Tesla, Apple. That's beyond my personal capacity. Maybe I can do something more impactful or bigger than those, but not within those means. I'm not a software engineer. I don't understand that. Um, so you really have to identify your strengths and weaknesses and just apply it. And that's something that, going back to the accelerated curve and exponential growth, um, something that I experienced when I got into the mortgage business is mentorship. I was my first year as a real estate agent. I sucked. I barely closed anything. I worked at Chick-fil-A before I became a real estate agent. I should have just stayed at Chick-fil-A. I probably would have made way more money. So what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I paid for mentorship about a year after getting into the mortgage business, and at the time, and I'm not trying to be arrogant, but if you would have compared my growth in the business compared to others, it was unparalleled. Like I'm not over exaggerating. First second year in business closed over $10 million in loans, and very few people have done that. At the time, most people were doing that their third or fourth year, and I was doing it whether they were older, had more experience as a loan partner, whether they had this advantage and this disadvantage. I was just crushing it. But um, I had a breakthrough that took years. I promise you, I did not realize the solution to this problem until approximately November or December of 2025. It took me years to figure it out on what I need to do, but I just felt empty. I was like, man, I'm doing good. I'm crushing it. I'm making good money. People respect me. People in some way admire me, and I'm popular. But I was just like, man, like I just felt a void, man. I just didn't. It didn't feel like me, and I think one thing that's depressing about the mortgage business is if you really want to succeed in it, you have to be what I'm doing now in a dark office on the weekend, and it's like, I'm not against work. I love working, but what dawned on me is like I don't believe this is the best application and use of my time. So I think I wouldn't mind working 12 hours on a weekend, but is the work that I'm working on the highest and best capacity for me? And I think that's a very important question, because when you realize like, hey, I sh- I should put these efforts in a different avenue and I will yield better results. That is when you. That's when you're gonna feel fulfilled. Thursday, um, I got done after a long day at the office. It was stressful. Um, Worked about like 8 hours. Didn't quite work, a 12-hour day, but I worked like 8 hours on mortgages, and I started working on my vision, and I was like, wow. Like I swear to God, like day and night difference. Like I wasn't even tired anymore. I can't put it into words, but I was exhausted. I was beat. I wanted to go to sleep. I just wanted nobody to talk to me. I just can't look at a screen anymore. I just didn't even want to talk to my girlfriend. I just wanted to be alone. And then I get on the computer and I started working. And I'm like, man, I fucking love this shit. And that's something that money can't buy. You can make six figures, dude. With real estate, in my opinion, a lot of times it just ends up being golden handcuffs. You're making six figures, multiple six figures, but you have no free time. You're available at beck and call. Whatever your client wants you to do, you have to do it, or else you're not gonna get paid. You know, at that point, you don't own a business. You're self-employed, and as soon as you stop working, the money stops coming in. It's a very important distinction to do, to acknowledge rather. Um, but yeah, Rambo I think is pretty much over. Moral of the story: I'm 25 and I'm gonna get rich quick.